In a distant galaxy, where the stars shimmer like scattered notes across an infinite score, a young stargazer named Lyra stumbles upon something extraordinary, an ancient artifact, glowing faintly, as if it carries the whispers of the universe itself. As she reaches out, the air around her hums with a melody so profound, so otherworldly, that it seems to echo the very heartbeat of creation. But this is no ordinary tune. It's a song older than time, a symphony of secrets waiting to be uncovered. And when Lyra touches the artifact, the cosmos itself responds, pulling her into a realm where light bends like music and the stars sing in harmony. Yet, as she steps into this celestial world, a shadow stirs. Something ancient, something hungry, threatens to unravel the cosmic song, leaving only silence in its wake. The stakes couldn't be higher. Lyra's journey isn't just about discovery, it's about survival. The fate of the stars, the balance of the universe, rests in her hands. And as the artifact pulses with a warning, she knows one thing for certain. The trials ahead will test not just her courage, but her very understanding of what it means to exist within the grand tapestry of the cosmos. This is the story of the ancient songs of the universe, a tale of harmony and chaos, light and shadow, and the quest to restore balance to a fractured cosmos. And it begins here with Lyra and the hum of an artifact that holds the power to change everything. As the celestial nexus trembles beneath her feet, Lyra feels the weight of the cosmos pressing against her chest. The air around her shimmers with a faint, ethereal glow, as if the stars themselves are whispering secrets only she can hear. Before her stands Solis, the sentient star, its light pulsing like a heartbeat, casting long shadows across the fractured plane. The ancient songs are fading, Solis says, its voice a melody both soothing and sorrowful. Without them, the balance of the universe unravels. Stars dim, planets drift, and chaos spreads like a shadow across the void. Lyra's heart races as she absorbs the gravity of Solis' words. The idea of being the chosen of the stars feels overwhelming, almost impossible. She glances at her hands, ordinary and small, wondering how they could ever hold the power to mend the cosmos. Yet deep within her, something stirs, a faint, resonant hum, like a forgotten melody buried in her soul. It's a call she cannot ignore, a longing to heal what's broken, even if she doesn't fully understand it. "I'll do it," she says, her voice steady despite the uncertainty clawing at her thoughts. "I'll find a way to restore the songs." As the words leave her lips, the celestial nexus shudders violently, as if the realm itself is reacting to her decision. Cracks like lightning split the sky, and the ground beneath her shifts, threatening to give way. In the distance, a shadowy figure emerges, cloaked in darkness, its presence sending a chill through the air. The figure doesn't move, doesn't speak, but its gaze is fixed on Lyra, watching, waiting. Solis' light flickers, dimming slightly as if recoiling from the intruder. The journey will not be easy, Solis warns, its voice now tinged with urgency. The shadows grow stronger, and they will stop at nothing to silence the songs forever. Lyra takes a deep breath, her resolve hardening like starlight, crystallizing in the cold expanse of space. She knows the path ahead is fraught with danger, but the pull of the ancient melodies is too strong to resist. As the nexus fractures further, the shadowy figure retreats into the void, leaving behind an unsettling silence. The tremor subsides, but the unease lingers, a reminder that the stakes are higher than she ever imagined. The first step is taken, but the journey has only just begun. As Lyra stepped into the luminous veil, the air shimmered with an otherworldly glow, as though the very fabric of the realm was woven from strands of light. The ground beneath her feet felt weightless, and the sky above pulsed with a soft, golden hue. But this was no place of peace. This was a trial. Before her stretched an endless maze of mirrors, their surfaces gleaming like liquid silver. Each mirror called to her, not with words, but with a pull that seemed to reach deep into her soul. She hesitated, her hand tightening around the artifact, its faint hum a steady reminder of her purpose. The first reflection caught her off guard. It wasn't her face staring back, but a version of herself, trembling and unsure. The reflection spoke, its voice a whisper that echoed in her mind. "You're not strong enough. You'll fail them all." The words struck like a dagger, but Lyra clenched her jaw, forcing herself to look away. She moved forward, only to be met by another mirror, and another, each one revealing a new fear, a new doubt. "You're too slow, too weak, too afraid," they murmured in unison, their voices a chorus of her deepest insecurities. The labyrinth seemed endless, the mirrors closing in around her. But then, a faint glow emanated from the artifact, its light cutting through the oppressive whispers. It was as if the artifact was reminding her she wasn't alone. She took a deep breath, focusing on the warmth of the light in her hand. "I am enough," she whispered to herself, her voice steadying. With each step, the reflections grew fainter, their voices quieter, until they were little more than distant echoes. But the labyrinth had one final test. From the shadows emerged a monstrous figure, its form shifting and writhing, as though it were made of the very fears she had just faced. Its eyes burned with a cold, predatory light, and its claws scraped against the ground as it advanced. Lyra's heart raced, but she stood her ground. This was no external enemy. This was her own doubt, given shape. The battle was fierce, not with swords or spells, but with willpower. The creature lashed out, its attacks fueled by her own insecurities, but Lyra refused to falter. She remembered the faces of those she loved, the lives she had sworn to protect. With a surge of determination, she raised the artifact high, its light blazing like a star. The creature shrieked, its form dissolving into wisps of shadow as Lyra's inner strength overwhelmed it. As the last of the creature faded away, the labyrinth fell silent. Before her, floating in the air, was the song of light, a shimmering melody made visible, its notes dancing like fireflies. Lyra reached out, her fingers brushing against its ethereal form. The moment she touched it, the song flowed into her, filling her with warmth and clarity. But the victory was short-lived. The shadows around her deepened, and a cold, mocking laughter filled the air. From the darkness emerged a figure, its presence overwhelming. It was Nox, the fallen star, his eyes burning with a hunger that made Lyra's blood run cold. "You've done well, little star," he sneered, his voice like ice. "But this is only the beginning. The next realm will not be so kind." His words lingered as he vanished, leaving Lyra standing alone in the now silent luminous veil. The shadows seemed to stretch further, the darkness more oppressive than before. She clutched the artifact tightly, her resolve hardening. The journey ahead would be harder, but she had faced her fears once. She could do it again. The song of light pulsed within her, a reminder of the power she now carried, and the responsibility that came with it. As Lyra's journey continues, she finds herself drawn to the Ember expanse, a realm alive with blazing rivers and skies, painted in hues of crimson and gold. The air here shimmers with heat, and the ground crackles beneath her feet, as though the very earth is aflame. This is no ordinary fire. It pulses with a life of its own, a rhythm that echoes the ancient song of flame. At the heart of this fiery expanse stands Ignis, a majestic phoenix whose feathers glow like molten embers. His presence is both awe-inspiring and intimidating, his piercing eyes reflecting the wisdom of countless ages. He is the guardian of the Song of Flame, and he does not give its secrets lightly. Ignis speaks in a voice that crackles like a roaring fire, challenging Lyra to prove her worth. To wield the Song of Flame, he declares, you must first endure its fury. The trial begins, and Lyra is engulfed in a maelstrom of flames. The heat is unbearable, searing her skin and scorching her resolve. But as the fire rages around her, her mind drifts to a time long ago, to the warmth of her childhood home, where her family gathered around a hearth, their laughter filling the air. She remembers her mother's gentle touch, her father's encouraging words, and the love that bound them together. These memories become her shield, a protective barrier against the inferno. With each passing moment, the flames grow fiercer, but Lyra's spirit remains unbroken. She draws strength from the love that has always guided her, transforming the fire's destructive power into a source of renewal. When the trial ends, the flames recede, leaving Lyra standing tall and unharmed. Ignis regards her with newfound respect, his fiery gaze softening. You have proven yourself worthy, he says, his voice now warm and approving. The Song of Flame is yours to carry. He releases a single, glowing feather, which transforms into a radiant melody that intertwines with Lyra's own song. But the moment of triumph is short-lived. As Lyra prepares to leave the Ember expanse, a shadow falls across the land. Nox emerges, his dark presence a stark contrast to the realm's fiery brilliance. His eyes gleam with malice as he reaches for the Song of Flame, his power surging as he attempts to corrupt it. Lyra barely escapes, the phoenix's warning echoing in her mind. Beware, Ignis calls after her, his voice grave. With each song he steals, Nox grows stronger. You must not let him claim another. The weight of his words settles heavily on Lyra's shoulders as she flees, the Song of Flame safely cradled in her heart, but the threat of Nox looming ever larger. As Lyra descended deeper into the abyss, the weight of the ocean pressed against her like a living force, its cold embrace tightening with every heartbeat. The Aqua Abyss was no ordinary underwater realm. It was a place where light dared not tread, and silence was broken only by the distant hum of currents. Here, the crushing pressure and suffocating darkness threatened to overwhelm her, but the artifact she carried pulsed faintly, a beacon of hope in the void. It guided her forward, its glow cutting through the endless black like a whisper of stars. Ahead, the Leviathan mare loomed, her massive form blending seamlessly with the shadows. her eyes, glowing like twin moons, locked onto Lyra, as if she were an intruder in a sacred domain. Mare's voice echoed in Lyra's mind, low and resonant, testing her resolve. Why do you seek the song of tides, wanderer? Do you not know the price of disturbing the deep? Lyra's breath quickened, but she steadied herself, her voice firm. The universe is unraveling, and this song is its last hope. I must claim it, no matter the cost. Mare's challenge came swiftly. Illusions wrapped around Lyra like tendrils. Visions of drowning, of lungs burning for air, of despair so profound it threatened to shatter her spirit. But Lyra clung to her purpose, her determination, a lifeline in the chaos. She remembered the stars fading, the galaxies dimming, and the faces of those she had sworn to save. With a surge of will, she broke free from the illusions, her voice ringing clear. I will not falter, not now, not ever. The Leviathan's eyes softened, and with a nod, she allowed Lyra to claim the Song of Tides. The artifact glowed brighter, its melody intertwining with the hum of the abyss. But as the song filled her, a tremor shook the depths. Nox's influence had seeped into the very fabric of the Aqua abyss, and the realm began to collapse. Massive pillars of rock crumbled, and the water churned violently, threatening to drag Lyra into the abyss. She swam with all her strength, the artifact's light guiding her through the chaos. Just as the darkness closed in, a powerful current surged around her, sweeping her upward and away from the collapsing realm. As she emerged into the open waters, Lyra gasped for air, her heart pounding. The Song of Tides hummed softly in her hands, but her relief was short-lived. Nox's power was spreading faster than she had anticipated, its corruption reaching even the deepest, most hidden corners of the universe. Time was slipping away, and the next realm awaited a place where the Song of Flames burned bright, guarded by forces even more perilous than the abyss. The water around her swirled, carrying her forward, as if the universe itself was urging her onward. As Lyra steps into the verdant grove, the air hums with an almost tangible energy, thick with the scent of damp earth and the faint sweetness of blooming flowers. The grove is a living tapestry of greens and golds, where sunlight filters through the canopy in dappled patterns, illuminating a world that feels both ancient and alive. Yet, beneath the surface beauty, something is amiss. The rustling of leaves carries an uneasy murmur, and the once harmonious hum of the grove now crackles with tension. This is no ordinary forest. It is a realm where the song of growth resides, a melody that once nurtured life in its purest form. But Nox's corruption has seeped into the very roots of this place, twisting the vibrant flora into gnarled, hostile beings that seem to writhe with malice. Lyra moves cautiously, her every step met with the creak of branches and the whisper of leaves that seem to watch her with unseen eyes. The grove's sentient plants and creatures, once gentle and nurturing, now snarl and lash out, their forms distorted by the dark energy that clings to them. It's as if the grove itself is testing her, pushing her to prove her worthiness. Amidst the chaos, she senses a presence, a towering tree spirit named Arbor, its bark etched with the wisdom of countless ages. Arbor stands as the guardian of the song of growth, its eyes glowing with a mixture of sorrow and suspicion. The spirit's voice, deep and resonant, echoes through the grove. You carry the weight of the stars, Lyra, but do you understand the weight of life itself? Lyra meets Arbor's gaze, her heart steady despite the grove's hostility. She knows that brute force will not win the spirit's trust. Instead, she speaks softly, her words laced with empathy and understanding. She shares her journey, her struggles, and her hope to restore balance to the cosmos. She reaches out to the corrupted plants, not with fear or anger, but with compassion, her touch gentle as she whispers words of healing. Slowly, the grove begins to respond. The twisted branches uncoil, the hostile snarls fade into murmurs of confusion, and the air grows lighter. Arbor watches, its ancient eyes softening as Lyra's sincerity pierces through the darkness. You have shown that growth is not just about strength, the spirit says, but about nurture, patience, and the courage to heal what is broken. With a solemn nod, Arbor bestows the song of growth upon Lyra, its melody weaving through the grove like a tender breeze, restoring patches of the forest to their former vibrancy. But the victory is bittersweet. Arbor's voice grows urgent as it warns her of the trials ahead. Nox's corruption runs deep, and the final song you seek will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Time is slipping away, Lyra. The whispers of the grove urge you to hurry, for if Nox's darkness spreads unchecked, even the stars will fall silent. As Lyra steps away from the verdant grove, the whispers follow her, a haunting reminder of the stakes at hand. The path ahead is uncertain, but the grove's warning lingers in her mind, fueling her resolve. She knows that the final song will demand everything she has, and perhaps more. The air grew heavy as Lyra approached the Tempest peaks, a land where the sky itself seemed alive with fury. Jagged mountains pierced the clouds, their summits cloaked in an eternal storm. Lightning split the heavens in blinding arcs, and winds howled like ancient spirits, tearing at the earth below. This was no place for the faint of heart. It was a realm of chaos, where the song of storms echoed in every thunderclap. At the heart of the peaks, perched atop a spire of blackened stone, was Zephyr, the thunderbird. His feathers shimmered with the energy of the storm, his eyes crackling with lightning as he watched Lyra approach. The guardian of the Song of Storms was no mere beast. He was a force of nature, a living tempest in avian form. His voice boomed like thunder as he issued his challenge: prove your worth, or be cast aside like the dust on the wind. Lyra knew this was no ordinary test. The Tempest peaks demanded more than strength. They required adaptability, courage, and a harmony with the chaos around her. As Zephyr swooped down, talons crackling with electricity, she darted and weaved through the storm, her movements as fluid as the wind itself. Each strike of lightning forced her to think faster, to anticipate the unpredictable. She wasn't just fighting Zephyr, she was learning to dance with the storm. The artifact around her neck pulsed with energy, a reminder of her connection to the ancient songs. Realizing its power, Lyra closed her eyes and let the storm's rhythm guide her. She didn't fight the chaos, she became part of it. The artifact resonated with the thunder, its hum blending with the tempest's roar. In that moment, Lyra and the storm were one. Zephyr paused, his wings still crackling, but his gaze softened. "You understand," he rumbled, his voice now a low roll of thunder. "The storm is not an enemy to conquer, but a force to embrace. You have earned the Song of Storms." As the thunderbird bowed his head, a shard of light descended from the sky, embedding itself into Lyra's artifact. The Song of Storms was hers, its power humming in harmony with the others she had collected, but the triumph was short-lived. From the shadows of the storm, Nox emerged, his form darker and more menacing than ever. The chaos of the Tempest peaks had only amplified his strength. "You think these songs will save you?" he sneered, his voice cutting through the thunder. "They will only lead you closer to your end." Their clash was swift and brutal. Nox's attacks were relentless, fueled by the storm's energy. Lyra fought valiantly, but the sheer force of his power left her battered and gasping for breath. As lightning lit the sky, she fell to her knees, her body trembling from the impact. Nox loomed over her, his eyes glowing with malice. "You cannot outrun the storm," he hissed before vanishing into the howling winds. Lyra clutched her artifact, its light flickering faintly. The crackle of lightning above seemed to echo the urgency in her heart. The final trial was near, and though she was wounded, the fire within her burned brighter than ever. The storm had tested her, but it had not broken her, and as the tempest raged on, Lyra rose to her feet, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Lyra stood at the edge of the void nexus, her breath steady despite the weight of the cosmos pressing against her chest. This was no ordinary place. It was the heart of the universe itself, a realm where light dared not tread and silence reigned supreme. Here, time folded in on itself, and space unraveled like threads in the hands of a weaver. The air, if it could even be called, that was thick with an otherworldly stillness, a silence so profound it felt alive, and at the center of it all, the song of eternity waited, a melody whispered only in the dreams of stars. As Lyra stepped forward, her boots sinking into the void beneath her, Nox emerged from the shadows, his form shifting like smoke. His voice was a low, mocking hum, each word dripping with venom. "You've come far, little songkeeper," he sneered, his eyes glinting like shards of obsidian. "But this is where your journey ends. The song of eternity belongs to me." Lyra tightened her grip on the artifact, its faint glow a stark contrast to the endless darkness around her. She could feel the power of the songs she had collected humming within her, each one a piece of the universe's soul. Nox lunged first, his movements swift and unpredictable, but Lyra was ready. The song of flame erupted from her fingertips, a cascade of fire that lit the void, if only for a moment. Nox recoiled, his laughter turning to a snarl. The battle raged on, a dance of light and shadow, song and silence. Nox taunted her with every strike, his voice echoing in her mind. "You think you can stop me, you, a mere mortal, against the void itself." But Lyra's resolve never wavered. The artifact pulsed in her hands, guiding her, reminding her of the purpose behind each note she played. The Song of Starlight wove a shield around her, deflecting Nox's attacks, while the Song of Thunder sent shockwaves rippling through the void, forcing him back. With every clash, the tension in the nexus grew, the air crackling with energy. Nox's power swelled, his form expanding as he drew strength from the darkness, but Lyra stood firm. She could feel the weight of the universe pressing down on her, but she also felt its hope, its light, its unyielding desire to endure. And then, as their powers collided in a final, devastating surge, the nexus erupted in a blinding flash of light, so intense it seemed to pierce the very fabric of existence. For a moment, everything stopped. The silence returned, heavier than before, and Lyra stood alone, her breath ragged, her heart racing. The battle was over, but the echoes of their clash still reverberated through the void, a reminder of the stakes that had brought her here. The song of eternity was within reach, but the cost of claiming it was heavier than she had ever imagined. As Lyra stood amidst the swirling chaos, a realization struck her like a sudden beam of light breaking through a storm. Nox's power wasn't just his own, it was stolen, woven from the corrupted songs he had taken from the stars. These melodies, once pure and radiant, now pulsed with a dark energy that fueled his wrath. But within that darkness, Lyra saw a glimmer of hope. If she could purify the songs, restore them to their original harmony, she might unravel the very source of Nox's strength. The artifact in her hands hummed faintly, as if responding to her thoughts. It was more than a tool. It was a bridge between the cosmic songs and her own spirit. To purify the stolen melodies, she would need to harmonize them with the artifact's ancient resonance. But this wasn't just a matter of technique. It required her to confront the shadows within herself. Fear, doubt, and the lingering scars of past failures threatened to overwhelm her focus. She knew that to succeed, she would have to face these insecurities head-on, transforming them into strength rather than letting them hold her back. As Lyra began the ritual, the air around her shimmered with an otherworldly light. The artifact's hum grew louder, blending with the faint echoes of the corrupted songs. She could feel the tension building, a delicate balance between destruction and renewal. But Nox wasn't about to let her work undisturbed. With a roar that shook the heavens, he launched himself at her, his attacks more ferocious than ever. Now, Lyra had to divide her attention between the relentless battle and the intricate process of purification. Every movement, every thought, became a test of her resolve. The songs began to resonate with the artifact, their once dark tones shifting into something brighter, purer. A surge of energy erupted, creating a feedback loop that vibrated through the cosmos. The very fabric of the universe seemed to hold its breath as the songs and the artifact fused into one. Lyra could feel the power coursing through her, but it wasn't just the songs or the artifact. It was her own courage, her willingness to face the storm within and without. The battle raged on, but for the first time, she felt a flicker of hope that she might not just survive, but triumph. The ancient songs were awakening, and with them, the possibility of a new dawn. The weight of the purification process presses heavily upon Lyra, each note she sings drawing not only from her voice, but from the very core of her being. Her body trembles, her breath grows shallow, and the once bright light in her eyes dims. Doubt begins to creep in, whispering questions she can't ignore. Can she truly do this? Is she strong enough to bear the burden of the universe's songs? For a moment, the enormity of the task threatens to overwhelm her. Her hands falter, and the melody she carries begins to waver. But then, like a distant echo, memories surge forward. She sees the faces of those who stood by her. Orion's steady determination, Viga's quiet wisdom, and even the fleeting kindness of strangers who believed in her mission. Their voices, their stories, their sacrifices, they rise within her, a chorus of hope that drowns out her fears. She remembers the starlit paths she walked, the battles fought, and the moments of connection that reminded her why she began this journey. With a deep breath, Lyra steels herself. The songs she carries are not hers alone. They belong to the universe, to every soul who has ever dreamed beneath the stars. And so, she sings on, her voice growing stronger, the melody weaving itself back into harmony. As the songs are purified, a shift begins to ripple through the nexus. Nox, once a towering force of darkness, feels his power slipping. The shadows that once obeyed his every command now flicker and fade, retreating from the light of Lyra's song. But Nox is not one to surrender quietly. His rage ignites, a storm of desperation and fury. With a deafening roar that shakes the very fabric of the nexus, he gathers the remnants of his strength, launching a final, devastating attack. The air crackles with energy, the ground beneath Lyra's feet trembling as Nox unleashes his full might. It's a last, reckless gambit, a desperate attempt to shatter the nexus and consume everything in darkness. The clash of light and shadow becomes a cataclysm, a symphony of chaos that threatens to undo all that Lyra has fought for. Yet amid the tumult, her song persists, a beacon of resilience, a melody that refuses to be silenced. The battle is far from over, but in this moment, Lyra stands as the embodiment of hope, her voice a testament to the power of unity and the enduring strength of the human spirit. The nexus quakes, the stars themselves seem to hold their breath, and the fate of the universe hangs in the balance. As Lyra stands at the heart of the nexus, the air around her hums with the purified songs of the universe. Each note, now cleansed of Nox's corruption, swirls in a radiant symphony, forming an impenetrable barrier. The artifact glows brighter, its light intertwining with the melodies, creating a shield that crackles with energy. Nox's shadowy tendrils crash against the barrier, but they recoil, unable to penetrate the harmony Lyra has woven. For a moment, the nexus quiets, as if holding its breath. With the artifact safe, Lyra takes a deep breath, her hands trembling but resolute. She begins to gather the songs, weaving them together into a single, unified melody. This isn't just a song, it's a weapon, a force of creation and destruction, merged into one. The melody builds, each note resonating with the weight of countless worlds, their hopes and dreams echoing through her. The power is immense, almost overwhelming, but Lyra refuses to falter. She knows what's at stake. The crescendo rises, and the nexus trembles under the force of the melody. Nox's form flickers, his shadowy essence unraveling as the light intensifies. Lyra's body aches, her strength waning with every passing second, but her resolve burns brighter than ever. She pours everything she has into the song, her voice blending with the cosmic symphony. The artifact pulses in rhythm, amplifying her efforts as the melody reaches its peak. And then, in a blinding flash of light, the nexus erupts. The melody soars, a wave of pure, radiant energy surging outward. Nox's form shatters, his presence dissolving like mist under the sun. The darkness is banished, and for the first time in what feels like an eternity, the nexus is still. Lyra collapses to her knees, exhausted but victorious. The artifact glows softly beside her, its light a quiet reminder of the universe's enduring song. The nexus is safe, but the cost is etched into Lyra's weary frame. Yet even as she catches her breath, a faint smile touches her lips. The songs are free, and with them, the future of the universe, shines brighter than ever. The melody swelled, a tidal wave of sound that crashed over Nox, its ancient power too vast, too pure for him to withstand. He staggered back, his form flickering like a candle caught in a storm, the shadows writhing around him as if they, too, were desperate to escape. The music was more than sound, now it was a force, a living, breathing entity that wrapped itself around him, unraveling his corruption thread by thread. With a final, echoing cry, Nox was banished from the Nexus, his presence dissolving into the void, leaving behind only the faintest whisper of his malice. The balance of the cosmos, fragile and frayed, began to mend itself, stitch by stitch, as the ancient songs reclaimed their dominion. Lyra, her strength spent, collapsed to her knees, the artifact still cradled in her trembling hands. Its glow had dimmed, but the hum it emitted was steady, a quiet pulse that seemed to echo the rhythm of her heartbeat. The Nexus, once a battlefield of chaos, now resonated with the harmonious melodies of the ancient songs. They drifted through the air like tendrils of light, weaving through the fractured remnants of the stars, soothing the scars left by Nox's corruption. It was as if the universe itself was exhaling, releasing a breath it had held for far too long. The songs began to spread, carried by an unseen current, flowing outward from the Nexus and into the farthest reaches of the cosmos. Planets bathed in their gentle light, their surfaces shimmering as the melodies washed over them. Stars that had flickered and dimmed under Nox's influence now burned brightly once more, their light pure and untainted. Even the void, that vast and silent expanse, seemed to hum in response, as if the ancient songs had awakened something long forgotten, something eternal. Lyra, though exhausted, could feel it, the healing touch of the melodies as they moved through her, easing the weight of her weariness. She closed her eyes, letting the music envelop her, its warmth a reminder that the universe, for all its chaos and darkness, still held a deep, abiding harmony. The artifact in her hands pulsed softly, a silent promise that the ancient songs would endure, a testament to the resilience of creation itself. And as the melodies continued to spread, their light reaching even the most distant corners of the cosmos, Lyra knew that, for now, the universe was whole again. As Lyra slowly opened her eyes, the world around her shimmered with a soft, golden light. The air felt alive, humming with a gentle energy that seemed to cradle her. Before her stood the guardians of the celestial realms, their forms radiant and ethereal, their presence as vast as the cosmos itself. Their voices, like the whispers of distant stars, spoke in unison, carrying a tone of gratitude that resonated deep within her soul. Lyra, they began, their words echoing with the weight of eons. Your courage has brought balance to the universe. Your sacrifice has not gone unnoticed. She blinked, still trying to grasp the enormity of what had just unfolded. The artifact, the one she had risked everything to protect, now glowed faintly in her hand, its light pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. The guardian's eyes, filled with the wisdom of countless ages, met hers. This artifact, one of them explained, their voice both soothing and awe-inspiring, is no ordinary relic. It is a fragment of the universe's very soul. For eons, it has been fractured, its harmony disrupted by forces that sought to unravel the fabric of existence. But through your actions, Lyra, you have mended what was broken. A wave of warmth washed over her, not just from their words, but from the realization of what she had done. The weight of her journey, the trials she had faced, and the moments of doubt she had overcome, it all made sense now. She had not merely been a wanderer in the stars, she had been a healer of the cosmos. The guardians' forms began to shimmer, their light growing softer, as if they were dissolving into the very fabric of the universe they had sworn to protect. "Our duty is fulfilled," they said, their voices fading like the final notes of a celestial melody. "The harmony you have restored will endure, a testament to your bravery." As the guardians dissipated into the glow that now surrounded her, Lyra felt a profound sense of peace. The light grew warmer, wrapping her in a comforting embrace, as if the universe itself was thanking her. She stood there, amidst the fading radiance, knowing that her journey had not been in vain. The stars above seemed to shine a little brighter, their light a reminder of the harmony she had helped to restore. And in that moment, Lyra understood that while her path had been fraught with challenges, it had also been filled with purpose, a purpose that would echo across the cosmos for eternity. As Lyra's ship glided through the shimmering veil of her home galaxy, the stars seemed to hum in harmony, as if welcoming her back with a cosmic embrace. The ancient songs, now woven into the very fabric of her being, pulsed gently within her chest, a quiet yet powerful reminder of the journey she had undertaken. The melodies she had carried across the universe were no longer just notes, they were a part of her, a bridge between the past and the future. When she finally touched down on the familiar soil of her world, the air was filled with the soft rustle of banners and the distant sound of joyful cries. Her people, who had once sent her off with hope and trepidation, now gathered to celebrate her return. They called her a hero, but to Lyra, the true heroes were the songs themselves, the timeless echoes of the stars that had guided her, taught her, and given her the strength to face the unknown. As she stepped forward, the ancient songs began to rise from within her, spilling out into the air like liquid starlight. The melodies wrapped around her people, soothing old wounds and reigniting long-forgotten dreams. It wasn't just music, it was a force of unity, a reminder of their shared history and the boundless potential of their future. Through the songs, Lyra brought not just peace, but a renewed sense of purpose to her galaxy. The transition was seamless, as though the universe itself had orchestrated this moment. A soft, lingering melody hung in the air, a gentle echo of her journey through the cosmos. It was a reminder that even as one chapter closed, the story was far from over. The songs, now alive in the hearts of her people, would continue to resonate, guiding them toward a future as bright and infinite as the stars themselves. As the echoes of the ancient songs fade into the vast expanse of space, Lyra stands still, her heart heavy with the weight of all she has witnessed. The journey has been long filled with trials, revelations, and moments of profound connection. Now, as she gazes out at the stars, something shifts within her. The songs, once distant and mysterious, now feel like a part of her very being. They are not just melodies, they are threads woven into the fabric of existence, binding every star, every planet, every living thing in a delicate, eternal harmony. Lyra closes her eyes, letting the songs flow through her. She feels the pulse of distant worlds, the quiet hum of ancient civilizations, and the whispered dreams of beings she may never meet. In this moment, she understands that the true power of these songs lies not in their ability to command or conquer, but in their capacity to unite. They are a bridge, a language that transcends time and space, speaking directly to the soul of the universe. And with this realization comes a quiet resolve, a vow to protect these songs, to honor their wisdom, and to carry their light wherever she goes. The stars seem to shine a little brighter now, as if they too recognize the change within her. Lyra feels a deep sense of fulfillment, not because the journey is over, but because she has found her purpose. She is no longer just a wanderer, a seeker of answers. She is the guardian of the songs, a keeper of harmony in a universe that so often teeters on the edge of chaos. And though the path ahead is uncertain, she steps forward with a heart full of hope, ready to share the songs with all who are willing to listen. The universe is vast, and its challenges are many, but as long as the songs endure, so too will the connection they foster. A reminder that we are all part of something greater, bound together by the music of the cosmos. As Lyra's journey unfolds, her connection to the ancient songs deepens, and with it, a growing sense of responsibility takes root. She begins to share the melodies she once guarded in solitude, teaching others to hear the whispers of the universe. Her travels take her to distant worlds, where she meets beings whose lives are transformed by the harmonies she carries. Each encounter becomes a lesson in unity, as the songs bridge gaps between cultures and civilizations, weaving a tapestry of shared understanding across the cosmos. But the path of a teacher is not without its trials. Lyra faces challenges that test her patience and resolve. On one world, she finds a society fractured by conflict, where the songs are met with skepticism and fear. It takes time and trust to show them that the melodies are not a threat, but a gift, a way to reconnect with the rhythms of existence. On another planet, she encounters natural forces that threaten to silence the songs altogether, forcing her to adapt and find new ways to preserve their essence. Through it all, Lyra's determination remains unshaken, fueled by the belief that the ancient songs hold the key to harmony, not just for her, but for all who listen. Her mission becomes more than a personal quest. It evolves into a movement. Those who learn the songs from Lyra begin to carry them forward, spreading their vibrations across the stars. Each melody becomes a thread in a growing network of connection, linking worlds and hearts in ways that were once unimaginable. And as Lyra watches this ripple effect unfold, she feels a profound sense of purpose, a reminder that even the smallest voice can ignite change when it sings in harmony with the universe. The challenges she faces are no longer obstacles, but stepping stones on a journey that has only just begun. As Lyra journeys deeper into the cosmos, she begins to sense something unsettling, a faint, discordant hum lingering in the spaces between stars. It's as though the universe itself is whispering of wounds that haven't fully healed. These are the remnants of Nox's corruption, fragments of darkness that still cling to the fabric of creation. Though the great battle has ended, the scars remain, subtle yet potent, like shadows that refuse to fade with the dawn. With a steady resolve, Lyra knows what she must do. Drawing upon the ancient songs she has carried within her, she moves toward these wounded places, her presence a quiet but powerful force. The melodies she sings are not just music, they are threads of light, weaving through the cracks in the universe, stitching together what has been torn apart. Each note resonates with the energy of stars long gone, their wisdom guiding her hands as she works to restore harmony. In one corner of the cosmos, she finds a nebula shimmering faintly, its colors muted and its glow dimmed by the lingering touch of Nox's influence. Lyra closes her eyes and begins to sing, her voice rising and falling like the tides of an ancient sea. Slowly, the nebula begins to brighten, its hues deepening as the darkness is gently pushed aside. It's a delicate process, one that requires patience and precision, but Lyra's determination never wavers. She knows that even the smallest act of healing can ripple outward, touching countless lives. Yet, not all challenges are so easily overcome. In another region, she encounters a star system where the very fabric of time seems fractured, its planets locked in an endless, chaotic dance. Here, the corruption runs deeper, woven into the threads of existence itself. Lyra pauses, her breath steady, and calls upon the oldest of the ancient songs, a melody so profound it feels as though the universe is singing through her. As the notes unfold, the chaos begins to still, the planets finding their rhythm once more, but the effort leaves her weary, a reminder that even the most powerful forces have their limits. Through it all, Lyra carries with her a renewed sense of purpose. Each act of healing, no matter how small, strengthens her resolve. She knows the path ahead is long and fraught with challenges, but she also knows she is not alone. The stars themselves seem to guide her, their light a constant reminder of the balance she fights to protect. And as she moves from one wounded place to the next, she feels the universe responding, its heartbeat growing stronger with every note she sings. The journey is far from over, but Lyra's determination burns brighter than ever. The ancient songs are her compass, her anchor, and her weapon, a testament to the power of creation itself. And as she continues to mend what has been broken, she whispers a promise to the stars. No matter how deep the scars, no matter how far the shadows stretch, she will not rest until balance is restored. As Lyra's journey unfolds, her efforts to heal the fractured universe draw the attention of forces that thrive in chaos. These new adversaries, born from the shadows of discord, see her as a threat to their dominion. They rise against her, not with brute force, but with cunning and deception, testing her resolve at every turn. Yet Lyra stands firm, her connection to the ancient songs growing stronger with each challenge. She begins to understand that these melodies are not merely tools of power. They are a sacred duty, a calling that demands her unwavering attention and care. The more she delves into the mysteries of the songs, the clearer it becomes that they are alive in their own way, pulsing with the heartbeat of the cosmos. They respond to her intentions, amplifying her strength when her spirit is pure, but faltering when doubt creeps in. This realization transforms her approach. No longer does she see herself as a mere traveler or a seeker of answers. She is a guardian, a protector of something far greater than herself. The ancient songs are not just a gift, they are a responsibility, one that requires her to remain vigilant, even in moments of peace. As the battles grow more intense, Lyra's growth becomes undeniable. Her once hesitant steps have turned into strides of purpose. She learns to listen not just to the songs, but to the silence between them, the quiet wisdom that whispers of balance and harmony. Her adversaries may rise again and again, but with each confrontation, Lyra emerges wiser, more attuned to the rhythms of the universe. and though the path ahead is uncertain, her commitment to her mission remains unshakable, a beacon of hope in a world still mending its wounds. Lyra stands tall atop the starry peak, her silhouette framed by the endless expanse of the cosmos. Below her, the healed universe glimmers with renewed life, each star and galaxy pulsing in harmony with the ancient songs she carries within her. The melodies, once fragmented and fading, now resonate deeply, a living testament to her journey and the sacrifices that shaped her path. She closes her eyes, feeling the weight of her purpose, not as a burden, but as a quiet, unshakable truth. The stars whisper back to her, their light weaving a tapestry of gratitude and hope. Though the journey has been long, Lyra knows this is not an end. The universe is vast, and its song, while stronger now, will always need guardians like her. She takes a deep breath, the cool starlight filling her lungs, and steps forward with quiet resolve. The challenges ahead are unknown, but she is ready to meet them, one melody at a time. As the scene fades, a soft, haunting melody rises, carried on the currents of space. It is not just Lyra's song anymore. It belongs to the stars, the galaxies, and every soul who hears it. The tune lingers, echoing through the heavens, a reminder of her legacy and the timeless power of harmony. And as the final notes dissolve into the infinite, the universe itself seems to sigh, content in the knowledge that its song is safe, its story eternal.